G'day, it's Mark and welcome back to the channel. And today I buy the oldest car that I've ever owned. It's 107 years old. So what's this 107-year-old car, you might be wondering? Well, to me, it was one of the most significant car, if not the most significant car ever made. It did win Car of the Century, and it's the Model T Ford. And this car, it wasn't the first mass-produced car because the Curve Dash Oldsmobile was that vehicle, and I'd love to have one of those. That's actually on the hit list one day. Although I should say that Henry Leland won the De Waard Trophy. I think it was back around 1905-ish, 03, 05, and that was for standardization of parts. In other words, interchange of parts. One part off one car could be put to another car and it would fit. In the past, old vintage cars had handmade parts and they weren't always exactly the same. So Cadillac was actually the first brand to do that, and they won the De Waard Trophy back in, I think, 1903, 1905, around that sort of time. The Oldsmobile Curve Dash was the first mass-produced car, and it was a number one selling car in the very early 1900s, and I think it was released in the late 1800s. But the Model T Ford, that is a car that completely changed the whole world of motoring. At one stage, more than 50% of every car in the world was a Model T Ford. The Model T Ford was released on the 1st of October 1908, and it sold until the 26th of May 1927. And it was the first mass-produced affordable vehicle. It actually made cars accessible to the everyday person, and Henry Ford's responsible for that. The big River Rouge plant, iron ore in one end and vehicles out the other end, and they completely redefined motoring for people, for the whole world, but particularly in America. Detroit became the epicenter of the car, and many people left their farms to go and work in the factories, especially when Ford offered $5 a day. That was an unheard of amount of money, but he was quite clever because by paying his workers $5 a day, meant that they could actually afford to buy his product. And that's where Ford Credit also came from, where people could buy a car on layaway. But Ford continued to improve the efficiency of the plant and the manufacturing process for the Model T, to the point where when the car was released, if you look at 1910, for example, the car was $780, which is the equivalent of around $25,500 in 2023 money. By 1924, the price had dropped down to $290, which was $5,156 in 2023 money. So you can see a massive reduction in price, albeit, 14 years later. And the car was in production for, like I said, 1908 to 1927. Eventually it was, it became outmoded. Chevrolet, through General Motors, started producing more competitive vehicles, and the Model T really started to suffer in terms of sales. But that wasn't before it sold over 15 million vehicles. And like I said, more than half the cars in the world at one stage were Model T Fords. So that's a car that I think is a landmark car. It did win Car of the Century, as I said. And I just thought, I really need to have one of these in my collection. So I had the opportunity to buy one. And funnily enough, I bought it from the fellow who I bought my Peugeot 202 from. Last thing I expected was to be buying two cars from this guy. But he had a beautiful little Model T Ford Roadster. And so I went and had a look at it and bought it. And anyway, check out the video. This is me going to have a look at it. And it was a wet day, so we didn't drive it very far. But I also asked him just to explain to me the starting procedure and the shutdown procedure, because these things drive like no other car. Anyway, let's have a look at the video. Okay, here we are with Graham, and it's a 1917 Model T Ford. Over 100 years old. It's hard to imagine, isn't it? It really is. And you're going to talk to me about the starting
I am going to talk to you about the starting.
procedure.
It's got no generator, it's got no alternator.
Okay.
What you need to do with this is, you need to connect the battery up here
Right.
first.
Yes.
I just leave it open.
Yes.
Yep, but then you need to put it in and close it up. So you have to put it on.
Yes.
Okay, because it uses the battery to help start this car to generate.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So, left hand side,
Yes.
advance and retard.
Yes.
Over here,
Yep.
you must have it fully retarded.
Right. Okay.
Fully retarded.
Yep.
This one over here is your accelerator.
Yes.
So just have it halfway there.
Halfway. Okay.
If you've got somebody with you,
Yes.
better. Because the minute it starts, get them to advance it, because you'll run from there quickly around to help it.
Right.
Because you'll find the idling will start to smooth out when you start to advance the timing.
Right. Okay.
So
Yep.
if you've got two people, just say to them, as soon as this thing starts, advance it, maybe halfway down,
Right.
and it'll smooth out.
Okay. Sure. Yep.
Right. You have to turn the fuel on here. Do you see how it's lined up? It must be like that.
Right.
If it is that way, or that way, it will not start.
So facing the same direction as the vehicle,
Must.
basically. Yeah.
It must.
Okay.
Okay. Over here. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's start there. It says,
Yep.
says coil on
Yep.
the right. So when you start this car,
Yep.
you're going to push it over to the right hand side.
Where it
As soon
says
as-
battery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Where it says spark coil.
Yep.
So that's the.
Oh, that high.
Yes,
up there.
that way.
Right. Right up to this point. Okay.
Yes, over
Yep.
there.
Yep.
It's not going to go all the way to the word spark or coil, but it's going to move in that
Yeah,
direction. I'll show you in
okay.
a moment. It needs to be there.
Yep.
As soon as it starts, then you push it over.
Right. Then it's running just off the battery. Then
It's
is it?
running off the battery.
And what's it got? It's got a. What's the power source for it? It's not a coil.
Coils.
It is
yeah.
coils, is it?
But they're all connected to the flywheel, so it's
Right,
generating a
okay.
low pulse there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
This little lever over here is
Yes.
all nicely complicated for everybody.
Okay.
So when it sits in the center, it's in neutral.
Right.
Yep. When it's forward, it'll give you the ability to go into top. And when you've got it all the way back,
Yeah.
you've got the handbrake on.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
When you park this car,
Yes.
yep, you pull into the garage or whatever you need to do with it,
Yeah.
chock it up and put it into neutral.
Right.
Put it into neutral. If you leave the handbrake, you're going to have a hard time starting this car.
Right.
Because what happens is the oil's all, because it's all planetary gears and it's all swishing around there.
Yeah.
When you put the handbrake, it locks it like that. And then when the oil,
So the oil creates
Solidify-
pressure. Yeah.
when
yeah.
it solidifies,
Yeah.
it's all locked together and you
Right.
will not be able to crank it.
Right.
And what you have to do, you
Yeah.
have to jack the car up.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Then you'll be able to turn
Right.
it because it's too heavy.
Okay.
Okay, so currently it's in neutral.
Yeah.
So we're going to start this car now. So I'm going to put the handbrake on it. Make sure with the chock in it, you don't want to get killed.
So I've got a chock on here, and then let me just pull the brake right back. Yep.
Retarded fully. You've got some accelerator here.
Yes.
Okay. Then you come over to here. I'm not going to do too much of this because I've already driven it to the servo. But you need to choke it. Choke it 5 times. This is the choke here.
So 5 times normally from cold.
Yeah, but you have to crank it. I'm
Yeah.
just showing you how it works.
Right.
So you would need to. And
Right. So you choke it while cranking.
that's right. So then the fuel will start to flow
Right,
up, and it
okay.
fills the cylinders because it's creating
Okay.
that suction and pulls
Yeah.
the fuel into
Yep.
there.
Yep. Okay.
If you can't start this,
Yeah.
and you put too much fuel in it, it's not going to start.
Right.
Just
Okay.
letting you know now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I use Aero Start sometimes to help me
Yep.
over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's actually running quite well at the moment, so I,
So if you do use Aero Start, where do you put
I
that?
just pull it here. And
Yeah.
I just put it in the end of the car. That's all.
Down here.
Yeah, just put it in there.
Right. And is there any leaks in this carburetor at all? or-
Yeah, look, I don't think it's leaking. The carburetor's not leaking, but I think the connection's dripping a little bit.
Right,
Fuel there.
okay.
So you can tighten it up if you
Yep.
need to do.
Yep. And what about this down here? This oil is this?
That's
just
what I said. It's,
right,
it
oil
does
leak.
leak all.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it just sits there. That's
Yep.
where it's been sitting. So
Yep. Yep. Okay.
that's
All
it.
right.
Right, we're ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to turn this to the right. Okay, started.
they're both about halfway down, basically. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm hopping in.
Brake. Yeah.
Brake, yep.
Yep. Brake, and the middle pedal gives you a reverse,
Yes.
and then that's the 2 forward gears.
Right.
Okay. So the handbrake's on. So you're going to have to put into neutral.
Yes.
Which is about there.
Yes.
Yep. Make sure you give yourself some acceleration.
So the right one is the brake, yes?
This one here.
Yes, yes.
And it works alright. It's Rocky Mountain brakes. It works.
Yeah, all right. Okay, we're going for a spin now.
When you're going to push your foot all the way down, you're going to get first.
Right.
Okay? At the same time, you need to give yourself acceleration. If you don't, you're going to stall.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
Don't panic and, oh my God! Take
Yeah.
your foot off.
Yeah,
Just
and
reduce
you got the
the
brake. Yeah.
Yep. But when you're going to go, push it all the way down.
Yes.
Because you're going to
Yeah.
start to wear the blade out.
It's either on or off, basically.
On or off.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm neutral in this first gear, so just leave it there.
Yeah.
Just slow down. 35's good. You don't want to go much more.
No.
So I just take it off and just roll it down.
Right. And so then when you want to go, then you just plant the left. Yeah. And then throttle.
You have to. If you don't throttle enough, it'll
stall.
stall.
Yeah.
You're going to get out, and you're going to have to start in front
Yeah.
of everybody.
No, I want to avoid that. I'm sure
The more
it'll,
you
it'll
drive,
happen.
the better.
Yeah, of course.
You've got the
Right.
Now, do you want to train to the top gear?
Yeah. That's cool. Like that.
I like it like this when it has lots of wind.
Yeah.
If you like it up, then
No, it's fine. Good visibility.
so that's about it.
Yeah. Actually get quite a lot of heat from the engine. Good. Well, good in this weather, but maybe in summer not so good. But
So you're coming up to what the fuck are you going to do?
you want to go to neutral,
Just go to neutral.
throttle down.
And now slow down and just
Yeah.
and you're going to drive it like that.
Right.
You start the accelerator.
Yep.
Like I said, I'm just driving
You're
down.
very used to it, yeah.
I wasn't always used to it though.
No, I'm sure.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm in neutral here.
Yes.
I'm just gonna roll
So
it.
you just use your brakes, basically.
Yeah, I'll just use the brake.
when you
now.
get
But if I
close.
want to slow down more, use the engine brake. I'll put it.
Yeah, you'll go to low.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So you got to just watch it.
Yes. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right.
I'm just leaving the handbrake off
Yes, because of the oil.
because of the.
Yeah. The
You'll never be
planetary.
up. You'll
So leave it in neutral when you stop it. Yeah.
It'll lock the entire
Okay.
thing up, and
Yeah.
you won't be able to. You'll have to jack the back up. You
So,
won't.
so with this, when you started the car, just run me past the location of this again. You it's off to the
Coil, yes.
to the right,
Yes.
towards the spark coil.
Coil, yep, and when it
then it
starts,
starts
it's running on the
running. Yeah, did you put it to the middle though, or did you put it more to the left?
No, I put it to the left.
To the left,
So
right.
when
So
it's in the center, it just switches the
that's when
vehicle
it's off. Okay,
Yes.
right. Okay, I had that around the wrong way. So, okay.
To the right. is
To
when you
right
wanna
to start it
it.
up, and once it runs,
Yep.
you flick it over to the left-hand side.
And then you're right to go.
And because you're doing it fairly quickly, obviously it doesn't cut out.
Cut out, no, it
and then when you want to kill it, you basically go to the
To
centre.
the center. Whatever you do, if you're cranking this when it's dead cold and you want to choke it for 5 rounds and
Yes,
stuff like that,
yes.
don't have it. It's got to be in the center. The car will start potentially, and it'll drive you over, and you'll be dead.
Right.
Okay. So I'm just letting you know. Make sure you put the chock on the wheel as well.
Yeah. So
Really
this has
important.
to be in this location at start.
Yeah, well, not at start, when you're cranking it over to prime the cylinders with
Oh,
fuel.
oh, right.
Yes, and
Okay.
then when you're ready to start it,
Then it has
flick
to go
the
over.
right,
Right.
and if it's sitting in the right spot on the
Yes.
flywheel, it'll start like it just
Like it
did.
did before.
Or if it's bad luck, you can have
Then
to
you've
crank
got to crank it.
Then you've got to
Yeah.
crank it, and it's not a crank like this. You just got to get it under and crank it up.
Yeah. So it does almost like you're helping it do a revolution, and it does the rest.
Yes.
Ideally. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I'm sure you'll watch lots of YouTubes on how to start it because there's
Yeah.
multiple people.
I'm
who give you
sure. I'm
multiple
sure.
versions.
I wasn't sure whether it had an electric start or not.
In 1919, it
Right,
has.
okay,
And if it
optional.
really bothers you,
You could always get one fitted if you wanted
can.
to. But,
You
but
need to get a
look,
different-
as long as it works, I'm happy just to stick with it.
It does, but if you make a mistake and you flood it too much,
Right.
then it's
If you flood it though, even if you just let it sit for a
Yeah, let
while,
it sit for a
it'll
while.
evaporate
Yeah,
eventually,
it
I
will,
guess.
that's
yeah.
right, yeah.
All right. Oh, thanks very much. Okay, we've just stopped the car. We put a coil, I guess, into the centre position to kill it effectively.
Yeah.
It's in neutral. Always leave the car in neutral. We turn the fuel off, which is now at right angles to the vehicle, I guess. Yep.
if you remember now, but you can remember when you started. I just retarded, so it's good to go.
Okay, so it goes. Both of these levers go. Well, this one goes to the top.
Yep, and the other one can stay there.
It can stay in the middle or so.
It should be in the middle when you start this car.
Right. Okay, and then obviously once the thing starts running, then this has to come down,
about halfway, yes.
and then you give it a little bit more throttle too,
Yeah,
or
if you want
it
to.
depends on how
But
it's
the thing is,
running.
if it's halfway down, the thing's going to be revving up really high.
Right.
And I think you're going to
So-
probably push it back slightly.
Right. So even if you went to start it though, would you still leave it in the middle, or
I
would
would
you,
leave it in the middle, yep.
and then just let it run down
Yep.
to a smoother idle?
Yeah, just,
Okay.
Yep, and then you just want to disconnect the battery.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
it.
Yep.
That's right, that's it.
And in terms of where's the fuel go?
The fuel under the seat.
Oh, okay.
I filled it up, it's got plenty of fuel in it.
Okay. Yep. Fuel tank.
I think they used that.
Oh, like a dipstick.
Well, the Persian's got a dipstick.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Oh, well, good to know that's in there.
You can see it though, you can see it.
Yeah, yeah,
It doesn't,
yeah.
It's a small tank. So
I'm not going to be doing large, long-distance trips in it. What about things like the headlights or the tail lights, things like that?
I think the headlights.
Not that I'll be driving in the night time, but I just...
Oh, it's got indicators. This thing. Just check the indicators are working. Oh, it's not going to work. We've got no battery, correct?
Oh, yeah, we did disconnect that.
I don't bother about it. It's a,
You use hand signals.
yeah, well, things are.
Yeah, that works. Okay. So where's that lever?
Yeah, in the centre.
Sorry, I Whereabouts?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, little lever down there.
Yep, so that's.
Just in the centre's off and then left or right.
Is the front one working? Maybe there's no front ones.
No. Oh, yeah, that's working.
Where is it? I don't use it.
It's working there, just under the headline.
Oh, yeah, you might have to put a plug in there.
Okay. All right.
Not working?
No, there could be a loose connection or something if it's not used very often. All right, so we've got to redisconnect the battery again.
Yep.
That's great. I'll take it. Anyway, here's the Model T Ford. Just went for a spin in it. It's really good. Really cool. Even though it was wet outside, we still ventured out and car performed really nicely. So Graham's been giving me all the pointers on how to start it and how to change gears and idle and do everything else. So yeah, very cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video on the Model T Ford, the car that's 107 years old. It's amazing to think of it like that. Please make sure you give the old Model T a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and make sure you follow along for more videos on automotive history. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.